can't do nothing about what happened to our forefathers, and the system that was set up, knowing that God said that he would put us under the hands of our enemies if we broke his law. Right? So I'm not in this to say, woe is me, woe is me. I'm an oppressed black man. White supremacy and the unseen hand have been attacking me. No. What we do is we use the power of the Most High to defeat the hurdles. Okay? Not using our scenario as an excuse of why we're not succeeding. Right? But there's no doubt out there that men are under attack and have been under attack for a very, very long time. But I want to talk about the occults, the satanic occult attack on men. Because this thing didn't just start with us in America. And this thing isn't just black men. I need y'all to understand this. The first rule of thumb when you're looking to destroy a society through warfare is to take out the greatest resistance. The strong. That's common sense. So they don't care if you're black, white, or whatever the case is. If you are a strong man, you are a threat because you were born to resist. Okay? You were born to understand what war is. Okay? So I want to talk about that this evening. I want to talk about this so that we can level set this so that brothers and sisters out there will understand and appreciate the power that is man. Not hear about white supremacy and all this other crap. All right. We're not dealing with none of that. All right. Because that's chasing your tail. There's an occult agenda that's going on. Now, let me put this up there real quick. Let me put it up there real quick. This right here is what you see in the middle here between Lawyer and I is the Baphomet. And it's clear that the Baphomet has man and woman genitalia as well as man and woman body parts. Right? The man and woman, the spirit of hermaphrodite, is the God of this world. That's first and foremost. So really the God of this world isn't for benefiting man or woman. Okay? It's called the changing of kind. If you're not down with the spirit of Baphomet, you are against the God of this world. Okay? And so what they're doing is, hey, under this spirit of Baphomet in worship, they must exalt the power of witch, WITCH, to level off the strength that naturally comes with man. It's called WITCH, where old women of ancient times, not the women who had the natural beauty, but the others, I'm talking about the pagans, they would use the less comely women to use craft and potions to level the playing field so that they can have strength, because they don't have the outward beauty to get the outcomes they wanted. So Satan would actually initiate and go to the less. That's right. That's where the whole ideology of witch came from. You have to target the people who don't get the privilege strictly off of their outward appearance. That's usually the key for women in life. But they would find the women who wasn't getting the attraction and say, I can level this with you. I can get you the poisons. I can give you the craft and the education so that at least you're smarter and can outsmart them. And if they get in your way, when there's a man you want, I can give you a potion where you can poison the women who threatens the path to your man. That's where the whole ideology of witch come in. I'll be dealing with that next Wednesday. But what they were doing, they didn't realize what they were doing by doing so. If you empower and start a divisive scenario between man and woman, eventually the woman loses because she loses her protector. She loses who was born to protect her. And that's the spirit of Baphomet, to play one off against the other, making sure there's no protection at the helm to destroy them all. It's an occult practice. It's an ancient occult practice. A matter of fact, a lot of you don't know this, the Baphomet in the middle you see here, that's right. You can find this in Mason temples, Masonic temples and all that. But well before this, okay, in the Middle Ages, this was the image that was being worshipped and revered from the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar is a segment of the Roman Catholic Church's army. And they were known as starch Baphomet worshippers. Okay? Now, why am I going here first? To show you it's an occult ideology. When you hear about what's going on in the media and celebrating certain things and all that when it comes to men, that's an occult ideology. And according to God's Bible, the Most High's Bible, we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to get to the bottom of it today, because it didn't just start with us, a lawyer in slavery. It started way back when we fell as a people in the Roman Catholic Church. The hierarchy of the Roman Catholic Church being Satanist, that's right, at the core, did the same thing when it came to Christ. They could have shown Christ as a man who defeated death, a strong black man who's sitting on the throne of the Almighty in all of his glory and power, controlling angels and all that. They could have depicted Christ like that. But how did they look to that's right. They wanted us to remember Christ dead and weak, with blood on him, a total victim, totally destroyed by the Roman Empire, emasculating him when Christ, that's right, he rose and appeared before the disciples. Now, folks, this is no hocus pocus. I have the books in my room right now, the Roman annals, documenting the fact that it was known amongst the Roman Empire, a totally different, outside of Hebrew records, a totally different source under the Roman annals. Even the white Romans knew that Christ rose from the dead. It was being reported all around Rome, because after Christ's death, there was 3 nights of straight darkness in Rome. That's chronicled and documented in Europe till this day. Huh? I have the records. So this is secular. It has nothing to do with the Bible, who wrote the Bible. If the Bible didn't exist, the Roman history states that they knew a man who they seen as a possible threat to overthrow the Roman Empire, because more people was coming to his ideology and his belief of him being king, and was born to destroy the Roman Empire. And yes, it didn't start with us here in America. It started how they would depict Christ, as weak and defeated. That was an occult attack on man that we're going to talk about today. And guess what? Also, with them actually portraying Joseph, Christ's father, as a third wheel, as if Christ was born under baby mama status. An immaculate conception, no man involved. That was an occult attack, folks, on men. We're to be more celebrating the woman who had him, opposed to the bloodline of men Christ came through. That was an occult deal. And if you see, they're doing the same thing through media today. Every time you see a little child, particularly a black child, typically media is portraying those children or that young boy as if he came through an immaculate conception. Because there's no men around anywhere on these commercials. And they have the power. Because don't forget, commercials are paid actors. They have the power to show men and women together, a black family with a child. So what are they doing here? It's an occult attack on our consciousness. And some of us are falling for it, buying into it as if that's some level of strength. It's an occult attack. So we're going to go there today. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it today. Now, number one, I'm going to bring you right back in 1 second. Why is, Elder Lloyd, I'm going to bring you back. Why is there an attack, an occult attack on men? First of all, to attack men, there's no consequences. That's first and foremost. The only time men are celebrated, black men in particular, is when we're dead, George Floyd, or if we're happy. Another word for gay. That's the only time men are celebrated. Why? I need y'all to really look at this. Not just you brothers, you sisters. Because these are your brothers. These are your sons. So we think about it. When we're celebrating separate power, understand what we're doing by doing so. Oh yeah, we're getting it on. We're doing this. We're doing that. And guess what? The other side is saying, okay, well, it's okay that we show your strength and your protectors this way. Let me show you. Let me show you here. We're going here to the View. The reason why they can do so, brothers and sisters, when it comes to the satanic attack on men, here's a perfect example of that, is because there's no consequences. Bill Cosby freed as court overturns his sex assault conviction. The entertainer had been serving a 3 to 10 year sentence in a prison outside of Philadelphia. He had totally been exonerated, folks. He was released from prison Wednesday after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his 2018 conviction for sexual assault on procedural grounds, a dramatic reversal in one of the first high-profile criminal trials of the Me Too era. 83 years old. They drugged this. Guess what, folks? This was a message. This was total symbolism. When I was growing up, and if there was any example of black strength or a sign that our people could succeed out of the jungle of North Philadelphia, guess who was the poster child? That's right, Bill Cosby. If he can make it, any of us can make it. Now, I'm not talking about his sexual exploits and anything he did wrong, because because what you're telling me is what Bill Cosby was doing outside of what he was witnessing in those circles. That's what you're telling me if you want me to focus on that. I'm not going there. I'm not going to go there. I'm not here to champion Bill Cosby. Well, what I'm saying is, check this out. He's been exonerated, but there's no consequences to those who brought up the charges. Because why? Mission accomplished. Another man with power and influence who cannot use it going forward to help his people.